Good morning, everybody. Welcome to a very special edition of My Car Shop. Today we're taking a little road trip to pick up something I've had in storage for a very, very long time, and I can't wait to share it with you. Hope you enjoy this episode.
Working out of a 100-year-old refurbished barn, bringing 35 years of experience to projects considered beyond repair. Vision, creativity, and problem solving are essential tools in this place. Watch as we transform junk into polished metal miracles. This is My Cars Shop.
All right, so taking a little road trip, as I mentioned. Don't have too far to go. A buddy of mine has had a bunch of parts and things stored for me for a long time. Just haven't had room up until recently in the shop to put stuff. And, well, for many years I didn't even have a shop to put stuff. So he's been very gracious and kind to keep things stored for me. And just this last year now, we were able to complete the last part of the loft in the barn that I've mentioned before. And I have a place to put things now that I didn't have room for before. So anyway, we're heading over there and gonna pick up a few things that he's gotten out of storage there for me. There's a bunch of stuff there. We're not going to be able to get it all today, but we're going to get what we can, and we'll go from there. So pardon the rough roads. My camera mount isn't exactly the smoothest. So we'll talk to you in a bit. One of the things I was thinking about as I was driving along here is I am by myself, so I'm probably not going to be able to shoot any footage once I'm there getting things loaded up. So, but we'll have a reveal when we unload the truck and talk about the stuff that I've got, and you know, just share the surprises with you that you may find interesting. Maybe you won't, but you know, to me, this is interesting stuff, and so we'll share it with you when we get there. Just sitting here at a stoplight, thought you might be interested in seeing that old Chevrolet that's over there. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. Kind of a unique car. It's been for sale for quite a while here. It's actually at a local dealership. I haven't stopped to take a close look at it, but pretty unique piece there. Pretty cool car. All right, so we're got our pickup done and all loaded up. I was going to go up and see the other parts that I had still stored upstairs, but the way you get up into the top of that barn, he used to have a big stairway, and it's not there anymore, and you got to go up a ladder up the side of the wall. And with my knees not being 100%, I got part way up, and I thought, you know, don't push your luck. Let's wait until you can get somebody younger and more spry to go up there and look at stuff. So with age comes wisdom. And I didn't want to fall that 15 foot to the floor in his barn because my knees weren't able to handle me getting up there. So used to do it all the time, but you know, I was a bit younger then. So one of these days, maybe when Joe's home or something, we'll get over there and get that rest of that stuff out of there. But it's not in his way. And the main thing is I got in the back of the truck what I was really shooting for. And we'll have a little unveiling when I get home. So there you go. All good, and we'll talk to you in just a few minutes. All right, so we're back home after the little road trip, and right behind me here in the truck is this little piece of automotive history I wanted to share with you. I'll move out of the way. It doesn't look like much. It's an old engine stand. I know that doesn't seem like a big deal, but let me tell you the history behind it. First of all, the bell housing that's on there, that Lakewood bell housing, is not part of it. It's something that I bolted on there years ago so I could build an engine on it. As many of you know, I spent almost a decade working in the auto industry as an engineer. And the first few years that I worked, my boss was Tom Hoover. Now, I don't know if any of you know who Tom Hoover is, but he's considered the father of the 426 Hemi. He was long out of his days at Chrysler. He had worked at the East Coast, actually at General Electric on locomotive engines for a while, and then was hired by Walbro Corporation to come to this area here in Michigan to head up the Orbital project, which was a joint venture between Walbro and Orbital Engine Company out of Australia. I worked for Tom until he retired, and we became friends, and we had common interests. He was a model railroader. He also was, which I am, and also he was a car guy. So I would go over to his house sometimes, and we would work on the trains, or we would work on the cars. And when he was getting ready to move after he retired out completely and was moving back to Pennsylvania, he gave me this engine stand. Now, it's not just his engine stand. That alone is significant to me because Tom was a friend. But this engine stand originated with the Chrysler turbine program back in the 50s. This was the engine stand that they used to hang the turbines on when they were working on the prototypes and so forth in research and development. After the turbine program was canned, this stand was kicking around at Chrysler Development for a while, and the Ram Chargers race team adopted it and used it, and he told me stories about how many Hemis had hung on that over the years as they were developing and building engines for the race team for Ram Chargers and so forth. So I was very honored that Tom gave it to me. He knew it would have a good home with me, that I would appreciate the history of it. And so I've had it all these years. I haven't had a shop to have it in for a long time. It's been stored over at my buddy's house for a long time, maybe 20 years. I don't even know how long it's been there because we've moved around a lot. But finally, it's found its home back here at my car shop. I'm looking to find a future home for it. I don't really need it. I appreciate the history of it. But at this point in my life, I really hope to get it to somebody that can have it in a museum with a Chrysler turbine car. I have a few people in mind, some pretty, I won't say any names, but some people that are pretty significant in the automotive world who have turbine cars who might be interested in this. So I'm going to start pursuing just donating it to them. I don't even want anything for it. I just would like to have them have it and appreciate its history and have it preserved for what it is. I know it's just a silly engine stand, but things like this, if we don't preserve them, in the future, nobody's going to know what they are. You know, my son would know what it is, obviously. Would he appreciate it? Sure. Would he use it? Probably not. So, I mean, Joe, if you want it, say so. But otherwise, I'm going to try to find a home for it somewhere. So let's get you over there. Let's just take a look at it before I get it off the truck. And we'll get some video footage of that, and then we'll call it a day on this episode. See here, it's been painted many times. What you can see underneath, some of the Hemi orange paint that would have been from engines that they painted at Ram Chargers. Tom told me that a lot of engines had been painted on this over the years. I'm not sure why it's painted brown, but somewhere in its history it had been painted brown, but there's layers and layers and layers of paint on it. I don't even know what the original colors would have been. You can see some orange paint down here. That very likely is from me when I was probably doing my 340 back in the 90s, because I think I had my 340 hung on this, my first 340 that I built. Then I took Tom for a ride in my 73 340 Duster. But anyway, that's the engine stand, and let's get a wrap up here on this episode for today. All right, well, that's going to do it for today's episode of My Car Shop. I appreciate you joining. We're not getting much done in the shop right now. Things have just been really busy with work. I haven't had time to get out here, but I'm hoping to soon. Maybe even tomorrow. There may be another episode getting put together, so we'll see. But do me a favor, if you would, and share the word if you enjoy this show. Tell other people. We can get them to like the channel. That would be great. If you do subscribe and you haven't, please click the bell as well so you get the notifications. We would appreciate that. You can also find us on Instagram /MyCarShop. We're on Facebook /MyCarShop. I try to keep a lot of things going on Instagram with pictures of different things from around the shop, different things we have going. We also try to keep some historical pictures going there, stuff that I pull out of the archives. So if you're not on Facebook and on Instagram, I would encourage you there, because there's a lot of content that doesn't make it to YouTube at this point. Once we get the viewership up, we'll be able to do some more things with sending out messages and so forth, but we're just not there yet. Anyway, thank you for watching. We appreciate it. And do me one other favor, would you? Rock on. Yeah.